What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. You see the thumbnail. Subscriber died trying. He's not gonna marry your student loans too. So shout out to Lauren and the real Dana. Uh, just having this relationship conversation. A couple of brothers, Jack Spade came on. Shout out to Jack Spade. Young brother Leon came on. Shout out to Leon. And part of the discussion was, why aren't why aren't men marrying more women? And when you think about the climate of, the strong, independent woman or the woman who went to get her education, or the single mother who went back to school type of thing, we kind of leave out she got student loans. Women say, well, why would I be with a man if I have to work? Well, maybe you can't be a housewife because you got to pay back your student loans. He can't marry you, work, and make you a housewife so y'all can have a family and take care of the mortgage and the utilities and possibly his own student loans and car note, so on and so forth, all the expenses in the household, and then pay your student loans too. They just don't go together. So what you wind up in a situation where at the end of the day, he can't pay you got to pay your loan. So you got to go to work. You have to get a job to pay off your loans. Now, when your loans are paid off, that's a different story. Or maybe you got student loans and credit card debt or medical bills. Well, we're already in a space where the bride's family doesn't pay for the wedding. So that's already on, his head, and now it's the man's responsibility to take care of what your family's not going to take care of. But you're gonna couple that with that, and not to mention, like, if you were a single mom or whatever, you got to add on the fact that he's also gonna be a stepfather, and even if you're receiving child support for the kid, you're still gonna expect him to do for that kid. So at a certain point, men aren't getting married because they're not marrying your debts. And you're asking too much to ask a man to marry you, to provide for you, and to settle your debts. Your debts are your debts before you met him. A lot of ladies who you want to go to school and start your career and then settle down and have kids. Well, here's the problem with that. You got those debts before he met you. It's not his responsibility. And a lot of guys have been down that road where they've fallen in love and got married to people, and the relationship lasted as long as the debt needed to be paid. Once the debt was clear, they out. Men have been left after a woman paid off her schooling because he worked he worked and she worked, but she could focus all her money to school, or he worked and he paid for her school while she went to school, and then she graduated with no debt and she left, or or he paid off the loans and she was obligated or felt obligated to be with him while he was paying off the loans, and then when that last payment hit, it's time to have an exit strategy. So those games are not going to be played as abundantly as they once were. So what are you asking for these guys? Part of this, and partially part of this, when people are tripping about the high value man discussion or wanting a guy who makes six figures, I've personally thought about it and spoke about the fact that you want people to make a certain amount of money so they can afford your life, but specifically part of your life is your debt. You have to live comfortably. You have to meet a man that can provide you a lifestyle that you will live comfortably with the lifestyle, with the income that he provides, and it also cushions, pays for the things that, like the wedding that you're not gonna pay for and your family's not gonna pay for, and your student loans, which you're not really paying for or paying down like that, and possibly, care of your children, or like I said, care of medical bills, because you're not really knocking that down. So guys have as far as when people say, men going their own way, financially, men have gone their own way as far as, if you strong and independent and educated and you got a degree and a master's and a master's and a PhD and D and brunch, that was petty. You got to pay for that. And don't, and that's, and some of y'all do in vitro and all this other stuff, and you need money for that too. So it gets ridiculous. Your debts are your debts, because you're not helping him pay off any of his. But that's just my thoughts on this. Like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Peace. Catch you on the next one.